All right, we are live. Welcome to the Spin and Backfist MMA show for Wednesday, March 18th, UFC London edition, as well as an interview with Lerone Murphy that Jack Mack recorded this week. Stay tuned to the end of this episode to hear that. But a lot to talk about. Obviously, UFC London and MVP versus UFC drama, I guess. Like that seemed to be what was taking over MMA Twitter this week because they announced Nate Diaz and Mike Perry. Tons of stuff going on. How we feeling?
Good. Yeah, there's tons of stuff going on. Specifically, it feels as if there's this moment happening in the MMA world where I wouldn't really even say other factions or promotions are coming up, but because what's MVP? How many are they going to do? It seems not that it will be a one-off, but it won't be that often. And people are calling it better than the UFC White House card. Some are saying it's amazing. Ronda's going at the UFC. Fighter pay is always something that is brought up. So yeah, it's a fascinating time in the MMA world right now.
It does just kind of like it does. It feels like we're kind of at the beginning of possibly like a moment in like MMA history of like if there's actually like a levee is going to break here in terms of, like you said, like fighter pay. And I really think the opening domino, like the surprise attack, if you will, that started this war is the Conor Benn contract.
Yeah,
that number being public, I think, really caused a ruckus amongst, especially the top stars in the UFC. And I think now it's trickling down. Now the Netflix card is definitely becoming a massive part of it. Where, because to me, I didn't feel like it was even like. I guess I'll say this: like I like the Nate Diaz Mike Perry fight. That's the fight out of the three I'm most intrigued by. It feels like now that they've added this like third fight, now it went from just being like, oh, like Ronda and Gina Carano are fighting to now and then you had Francis. Now this fight to me feels like a real card. So now I feel like it's like the debate is now actually started. I think we all are on the same page that it's crazy to people to even debate that. I understand it just on the like you have Ronda Rousey, you have Francis Ngannou, and that like Nate Diaz is a game changer in terms of like actual name value, in my opinion. Because I understand, like, he hasn't fought in a few years. He's boxed, whatever. He boxed Masvidal and beat him crazy. Boxed Jake Paul. But to me, he's still, like, a star that I respect in terms of, like, even his last UFC fight, like, he won. Granted, it was the corpse of Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
But to me, I think it does add a little more, like, legitimacy to him. Going nuts. In terms of like, there are two guys that I actually would like want to see fight. Like Mike Perry's been killing it outside of him in UFC, but it still is like this thing where it's like there's this. I think Jack called it like a woke MMA thing is like forming, and it feels like Ariel is kind of like spearheading it in a way a little bit. Where like, and he's on the Netflix payroll. Netflix, if you want to give us money, I will talk incredibly positively. Gladly,
Spin and Backfist could go straight to Netflix. Yeah.
I'll spread my legs for the money for sure. But like it's just crazy. Like anyone saying like Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano was like you would like rather see that fight than like any of the fights on this White House card. It's like we've gone too far.
And it has become like. It does feel like it's MVP versus like this card versus the White House card, even though they're not on the same day and not competing with each other necessarily, because that's what Ronda has gone at a bunch, where she's like, the White House card sucks, this, that. I felt like I was taking crazy pills with the people in my mentions being like, you're seriously saying a card with Kyle Dawkins is better than this one? And it's like, Felipe Lins is on that card. Like, what are we talking about? Like, yeah.
It does feel like we're taking crazy pills. I'm seeing these takes all over, not just to Robbie's tweet, but from others. They're comparing to the UFC White House card. You can't compare it. I also think this is, in a weird way, only going to benefit the UFC. I saw a good, I think from Front Row, what's his name, Brian?
Front Row Brian.
He was saying this will only benefit the UFC in the long run, because if, let's say, Netflix has a lot of people tune into this MMA and it creates new MMA fans, where are you going to go every week for new MMA fights? The UFC. Now, there could be a benefit or a bad benefit if this really works for Netflix MMA is the UFC makes stars, and then Netflix and MVP Promotions takes them. It'll be interesting to see. There's been a billion new. I mean, we probably had conversations when PFL signed Francis Ngannou. Oh, is this going to really? How's this going to affect the UFC? And I mean, look at how now Francis is in a new organization and I mean, his big fight that he wants in this organization is a boxing fight against Jake Paul. I don't know. It's just, let's be real. No one's talking about Francis Ngannou. I don't. None of my friends talk about Francis Ngannou.
No. I mean,
People
I will
talk
say,
about-
like, I was very surprised when I tweeted my tweet. Like, it was eye-opening to me at how many people are excited for this, just the card in general. And maybe I was being too harsh on Mike Perry versus Nate Diaz as a fight. Clearly, people want to see that fight. For me, it didn't fully move the needle because I think Mike Perry's going to kill him. And it's also just been like, again, it's two guys that like Jake Paul recently beat in a boxing. And I know it's boxing, it's completely different. But like you said, Ev, like Mike Perry and Nate Diaz, both, they haven't trained MMA in at least 4 or 6 years, I think, each. And they're kind of open about that. Will it be a bad fight? I don't think so. It'll be a brawl. I think Mike Perry's going to kill Nate Diaz. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that. And Nate Diaz will be able to weather the storm and submit him. But like, it's the kind of card that Bellator used to put together with like retired UFC guys or former UFC guys that were big names. And I feel like everyone kind of like laughed at him and didn't take those fights seriously. Even if they watched, it was just like, all right, we'll watch the circus act, but then go back to the real stuff and Strikeforce, the UFC and companies like that. Yeah, this is like, I'm sure people are going to watch. It's huge names in a circus act. But again, if you're saying, I got so many tweets, this is better than any card the UFC could put on. It's better than any card the UFC's put on this year. It's like, no, not even close. You're going to compare this to like UFC 327 in Miami? And people were literally screenshotting the Miami card and tweeting at me like, and this is the card you're excited for? It's like, yes, obviously.
Bob, I saw it because I think he tagged me under your tweet. Someone like screenshotted me saying the Newark card was like sick, and I was excited to go and being like, this is like you got like this is trash. Like no, this is like the guy like no credibility. Like none of us like, which I don't care about the random. I don't have credibility. I don't give a fuck. I don't really care about that. It's more just like you're telling me like that like this card doesn't compare to like a Khamzat Chimaev Sean Strickland main event. Like what do we like a Sean Brady what like Buckley like there's bangers on the card. Like I don't know what you like it just feels like they're too like it just has Ronda and it has Nate Diaz like and again I genuinely like I truly am excited. I wanted to watch Mike Perry and Nate Diaz fight. Genuinely, my honest take. That was the card I was excited about. But I just this overall like we're now pushing so far back on it. We're like, and I think people are kind of using the like Ronda thing that like Dana wanted the fight first. So it's like, look, like they wanted this fight and they couldn't get it done. Like because the kind of pushback of someone in our position is like, oh, like if they wanted that fight, they'd have it. And they'd be like, yeah, they tried, but like Jack just said too, like the Francis thing, like people talk about Francis when it like comes up, but no one is like just talking about Francis out of like thin air. He made his money, like good for him, but like you said, they're bringing up the Dawkins thing. It's Felipe Lins. It's gonna be there's Lorenz Larkin and Jason Jackson on the main card. Like that's your card that's better than the Miami card. I think the UFC has it a weird thing where we're so prisoner of the moment. The last few main events haven't been great, and like there hasn't been that true like banger card this year. That hasn't really happened yet. And I also feel like weirdly am I crazy? I have to look at the numbers. This is off the top of my head, but like I feel like there weirdly hasn't been like a shit ton of finishes or like big finishes, at least in like the big fights.
Yeah, no.
And I feel like that's maybe I don't know what it is. There's a weird wave right now, and I think it's all kind of they're all like slices of the pie as to why people are hating on the UFC right now. So the Netflix card is kind of coming at like the perfect time for it. And maybe like it because the viewership is going to be a thing where like it's going to do huge numbers because it's on Netflix.
Of course.
But also like, can that continue? Because like, are you going to say like Jake Paul and Mike Tyson did more numbers than like any boxing fight like ever, they say. But like, is it the biggest fight in the history of boxing? Like by
Not even
numbers,
close.
like yes, I guess that'd be a fact. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, come on. Like
Yeah.
Gina
No, it's not
Carano
even close.
and Ronda Rousey just better numbers than. I don't even know. Like, will it do better numbers than the White House card on CBS? I guess
Yeah.
it will, right? Like,
It probably will, and it's got all of the name value, the Netflix, the promotion will be crazy. But yeah, it's like it'll be like you said. Technically, it'll probably be the biggest, most watched MMA fight of all time. I don't think it'll compare to the actual like big, like Conor McGregor and Khabib. We're gonna say it's like a bigger cultural moment than that. No,
exactly. It just, I don't know. It doesn't make it like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It's kind of annoying because it's like you can nitpick it. Like it's almost like a lawyer being like, yeah, but like technically, like,
and there's a lot of
wait
people that
around.
were saying this card had no expectations going in, so they've already exceeded them. And I understand that point of view, but like if the UFC tried to put on Ronda and Gina, which they did, I think a lot of the people championing this fight and championing a competitor and getting the bag would be shitting on the UFC for putting a girl who hasn't fought in 16 years against a girl who hasn't fought in 10 years. And I think if they booked Francis Ngannou, Felipe Lins, everyone would be like, who the fuck wants to see Felipe Lins fight Francis Ngannou?
And then
100%.
if you think about it, we were all MMA fans that are championing this card at the same time are making fun of Dana for saying that his secret fight that he had for 2025 that nobody saw coming was going to be Ronda Rousey against Gina Carano, but now it's the greatest fight. It's the headliner of the greatest fight card that's ever been created in the history of MMA. It's ridiculous. It's this woke nonsense. Like, I mean that in the non-political way. I'm just saying the kind of the woke MMA fan. And I think another thing that is for some fans too, like the White House aspect can deter some fans, Trump, all of that. And that's completely fair. I'll listen to that, but it doesn't seem like people are really saying that about this card. They're saying how great this card is, which is really weird. I'll be honest, I'm not excited for the Nate Diaz fight. I don't care. He's 40 years old. Like, who gives a fuck? Like we saw him recently. He wasn't that good. And what's he been doing since then? He's 40 years old against Mike Perry. Okay, that's fun. I'll watch it, of course. It'll be fun. But I'm more excited for Keita against Nathaniel Wood this weekend, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Cage knower. It's honestly really, I feel like that woke MMA, I think that should be like the new, like they're the casuals. to me, where you stand on this, like if you think that's a better card, you're a casual.
Yeah.
Also,
I agree, and people are pissed about it. Like I was getting annihilated in the mentions, and I was like, I'll take it, like whatever. But the whole time I felt like the meme of like, why are you booing me? I'm right. Like
Twitter's so fake.
Absolutely right.
Do you like, and this is tough because it prices out the common fan, and I'm not, I think it's one of those, it's beyond just the UFC. But I mean, everyone's saying this, and then they put on sale the tickets for UFC 328 or 329 for Newark. And
I saw that. The prices are nuts.
But the prices are nuts. Like, if people were that mad at the UFC, they wouldn't be watching and all of this. And also the woke, it's there. I saw a comparison. MMA Joey's been one guy that's been really woke recently about all of this. And he said, oh, first ever CBS card only averaged 3.2 mil or 3.6 million or something on it. First of all, that didn't combine Paramount viewers at the same time. And also, and he was comparing it to Kimbo Slice against I forget who on CBS, whenever that was.
And Shamrock, maybe.
Million. The main event wasn't on CBS.
No, it was prelims.
I
guess the beginning of the main card.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I really do.
I keep getting called like a Dana shill, which is fair. Everyone, I'll take that. I'll wear that, whatever. But in my mind, and this probably will make it worse for people in their minds, the UFC did not cross my mind for a second when I tweeted about the Mike Perry. Like there wasn't any kind of like, let me put this down to prop the UFC up. I was just like, oh, that doesn't do it for me. And everyone was like, Dana's in his pocket, wedding gift, this, that, the next thing. And it was like, it's worse that I'm actually not consciously a shill. Maybe it's subconscious.
I will say I want MVP to work because competition is good for the industry.
Of course.
And but I also think it's a bit silly when all these, like, there's a lot of people out there that it's weird.
And it's like, how much did we do with PFL? We were, not really willing to work with GFL, but that came up as well. Like, we've done stuff with Bellator in the past. It's like, of course, the UFC is the home base, and that's the one that we're paying the most attention to at all times. But like, we've done stuff with other MMA companies a lot.
Also, a lot of these people that are championing it and mad at the UFC, they're like, it's a monopoly. I don't see them going and buying tickets to the PFL. I don't see them when we tweet about the PFL, which we do all the time. Yep. Even past where we don't have a partnership with them anymore. And we'll tweet about them on Friday when they have the card in Spain. It won't get as much engagement. People, but all these people are the same people that they know every single result that happened on Saturday. And they hate the Apex, which, by the way, I think the Apex has turned out to be pretty damn cool. It's like a little bit of
definitely, yeah. And the card was amazing on Saturday. It was like the weekend for them to come off this and everyone would be like, better than any card the UFC could put on. It was like, we just had a fucking awesome card on Saturday, right? Like, awesome.
Also, I don't understand. Like, we really are shaming certain people on this White House card. Honestly, I really think the problem. I was in like Dawkins and Zahabi and all that, just like using those names as like, just waving them around like a gun, like using like Kyle Dawkins is on the card. I'm like, he's had 2 great finishes in a row over 2 good fighters.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know.
And he's been leaning into it well. His Twitter's been very funny since he got announced.
He's doing the right thing because
totally,
like, it's going to be a huge moment. Like, so many people are going to watch, and as much as like, can it be a deterrent? Like, sure, but also like, let's call it what it is. All the right wingers are going to watch. Like, I think a lot of people will tune in just because it'll be on CBS. It is like still a sick card. I don't care what anyone says. It's a sick card. Did it underwhelm a little bit? Maybe. But
it's not the greatest of all time, not even close. But like, also, is it a card I'm excited for? Yeah.
Dana, it's the expectations thing. I forget which one you said it. It's that's like the ding 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 in my opinion. Yeah. Like, if Dana doesn't say this is going to be the greatest card of all time, if they don't, if the like 6-7 title fights, I forget if it was like Trump or whoever said that. If things like that aren't said, then people don't. I don't think people feel this way. We have become, as a society, such a victim of like expectations, and like spontaneous things just feel better and new. It's always like the new toy. You gravitate towards the new thing. So I think it's all of that combined. That's really what it is. I mean, if they just had just a few tweaks, I really think like a Sanhagen swapped in for Zahabi, like obviously if they get the Islam fight done with instead of Gaethje fighting Ilya, people feel so differently about it. Like, I
even got people talking about the Chandler Ruffy fight that, like, I said, I'm not that excited for Nate and Perry. And they said, oh, but you're excited for Chandler Ruffy. And it's like, it's not that different. Like, it's just 2 guys that are active. And then they're going to brawl. They're going to brawl.
Mauricio Ruffy would do disgusting things to both of those, to both Nate Diaz and Mike.
Yeah.
I don't even care if there wasn't a weight class involved. I think Michael Chandler would do disgusting things to both of them.
I think so, too.
I said Dawkins because they're fighting at 170. Like, Dawkins takes out Perry and Nate Diaz same night.
Yeah. And again, I'm not trying to shit on Perry and Diaz. This is by far the best fight they've announced. Like, it is the most exciting fight on the card. It should be the main event in my mind. It's like, that's the fight and I know they can't be the main event. Ronda's coming back and all that, but like, this is the fight that MMA fans are excited for. Oh, true. Triple headliner. I forgot about that. Yeah. Real quick, before we go any further, let me do a quick ad. Our friends at Blue Chew, we thank them for sponsoring the show. As always, you know what time it is. It's time to level up, and Blue Chew just dropped something crazy. I'm talking next level, championship belt, gold-plated energy. Blue Chew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand. It ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. It is the 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. We're talking 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep that rocket pumping, mixed with apoformine and oxytocin to turn up the arousal and connection in your brain and body. This is peak passion and peak performance in a single tablet. If your bed could talk after this, it'd be asking for a break. So make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at bluechew.com. We've got a special deal for our listeners. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code SPINNIN. That's promo code SPINNIN, SPINNIN. Visit bluechew.com for details and safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Shout out Blue Chew. Anything on the card last week that you want to touch on? There was a lot of good finishes, a lot of good fights.
trying to think of any.
Yeah.
Vallejos obviously was elite.
Super impressive. Yep.
What Vallejos
Didn't
did was
expect
elite.
that.
Just
What were
to
the big
run through
finishes
them like
again?
that
Let
was
me pull that
impressive.
back. Yeah, I mean he made Emmett look like a can. Like he just literally walked through him.
He's gonna get something big. I wonder what they do with him next.
Kudalaba surprised me. I don't think C's that good, like you said in the chat, Ev, but I didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
I know with Vallejos, I think what they should do, give him the winner of Steve Garcia against Diego Lopez.
Ooh, I mean, I don't hate that at all.
I like
He might fight sooner than that, to be honest. I think he'll fight, or he might fight like not long after that.
I guess maybe the winner of Aljo Zalal, that may be too much for him though.
I wouldn't hate that though if they did that. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Did you see Aljo eating the chocolate cake this week? Someone posted a picture of him with like this massive piece of chocolate cake, and it was like he ain't cutting weight this week. He's enjoying it.
Yeah.
What else? The Feely Delgado fight, tough for Feely. He was trying. I mean, Chris Curtis oral buy. Could that have gone any more like we thought it would go?
Yeah.
Chris Curtis complaining on Instagram afterwards after losing a decision.
Was it on Facebook?
Yeah, they might have been Facebook. Yeah.
Facebook?
He's like, this guy didn't want to fight me. It's hard to fight someone that doesn't want to fight you back.
Also, is just someone I think Rahiki might be like a new mythical fighter. Like we might have found like the next one.
Yeah.
I don't know how and when I say that, I want to be clear, I don't know how far he's gonna go. I think he has a lot of potential. He's super young, but I've seen him fight twice, and every fight's like an instant classic.
Yeah. Souza, that knockout was crazy.
Which one?
Grabbed his the Souza knockout where he grabbed his left hand,
dude,
like pulled him into it.
Dude, he's another. He has a little mythicalness in him too. Like he just is the guy that he's losing the fight until he wins it.
What else was? Oh, the Eric Anders Brad Tavares fight was good, and then Eric Anders retired afterwards. And I said it was Jack Stradamus when I was like, "This is a good fight, don't you think, Jack?" He's like, "I don't know if it was a retirement fight, maybe." Called it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Eric Anders, great career. He fought a lot. A lot of guys don't get to retire in the UFC after fighting for as long as they have, and
after a win too.
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't come back, he went out on a win, gave his coach the gloves. I thought that was like a cool thing where he's like, I'm not laying the gloves down. I'm giving them to my coach. And then he had his son in his corner and he said, I just don't have the balls to do this anymore. Which I was like, good for you, man. What a humble approach to retirement.
Yeah, he's cool. And that's, it's really hard to win as many fights in the UFC as he has throughout his career.
Yeah.
I think like we always remember like these amazing fighters, of course, but it's really hard to win as much as he did, and he had a great
just
career.
Last as long as he did year-wise. Like how many years was he in the UFC? 10?
Yeah, and he's
probably
also a national
probably 8
champ.
or 9.
He's a national champ. What a career! Like a true, just crazy athlete.
And speaking of colleges, shout out Hofstra. That's our Bracket Busters team. Got to be cheering on Hofstra tomorrow.
Friday?
Friday. Yeah,
Friday.
Shout out the Hofstra. So that's Steamroller, Chris Weidman.
Yep. John Vellante.
We have Vellante. Shout out Willie Colon, our guy, former coworker.
Yep. Stephen Che.
Max.
Did Gene Vellante go there?
Max?
Yeah.
Max Delente?
Yeah, he played baseball
Vellante.
there.
Oh,
I said Max.
Hofstra guy.
I think they both did, right?
Max went there for a year. He played baseball there. Gene Vellante went to Hofstra from 2003 to 2007.
He played football, right?
He played football and wrestling.
Yeah. Shout out Hofstra. If you're cheering on any team on Friday, make sure it's the Spinning Backfist Hofstra. What is our mascot? The Hofstra blank?
Pride, which is also an
Pride.
MMA.
Love it.
Also an MMA.
Pride, exactly.
Yeah. And also, Jack, a great call on them too. That literally, I think maybe less than 3 minutes later, their Alabama's second best player was arrested and then followed up, kicked off the team for the rest of the year. So
truly,
just elite timing on the pick.
Truly
value.
Unbelievable that happened. It's still going to be an uphill battle, but if you had to pick a team in that moment, knowing that, I think Hofstra may have jumped to the top. We had some issues with we didn't want to pick TCU because they're playing Ohio State, and then UCF may end up playing UConn. So we wanted to keep it in Hofstra. I think.
I almost became a UCF fan years ago because of the UFC. Like I thought it was like 2017, 2018, and I was like, everyone's got a college team. I kind of did the thing everyone at Barstool does eventually, where you're like, I don't have a team. Who should I be a fan of? And I was like, it would be funny if I was the UFC UCF fan, and just like I got dyslexic with it. But then I wound up going with the U for a couple of years.
Good choice. You got in early. You got in at the right time.
I did, but then I met my fiance, and now I'm Ohio State all the way.
So yeah, great pick.
That's why we couldn't do. That's why we couldn't do TCU. I mean, it would have been bad vibes.
Also, Bob, it's funny you said that. The true story. If I didn't end up at Ohio State, it was UCF.
Really?
Wow.
Look at that. Story. Me and Ev fucking aligned with college football.
It's a true story. If I had not got accepted to Ohio State, I think that's where I would have been.
Wow.
I had a couple of good friends who went there and liked it there. I was entertaining it.
Hey, UCF, nothing but respect. Obviously, if they go up against UConn, I will not be rooting for them. But UCF always they've given us some good stories. I wonder if any UFC fighters went to UCF, probably because it's such a big damn school in Florida. But Hofstra pride, baby.
What else news-wise did we have this week? Dustin did Joe Rogan. There were a couple clips from that. There was the clip from the Russian Ultimate Fighter show where one fighter wanted to stab another one. DC was like, fuck this.
DC, I don't know if you remember, but when he got back, he posted on like Instagram like a random comment. It was like, I was just in Thailand. It was the worst experience of my life. Like he did not. Remember, he said he was like, I'm just happy to just be in America. Like he was just like, you could have thrown him in the middle of Nebraska or with nothing around him, just a cornfield. He'd been like, thank God I'm not in Phuket, Thailand.
DC cracks me up. He's so funny.
If we get to interview him again, which I wouldn't be shocked if we do. We need to ask him about why he didn't I'm like, here's the mic, go off on Thailand for a little bit.
There were funny clips from Max Holloway's streams, a couple ones, a couple random, like the chat trolling him, asking if he trained for Oliveira.
Colby Covington now like hates the UFC.
Yep, him and Bo Nickel are going at it, and that was funny because Bo Nickel's basically like, "Hey, we're the same way. Like, I haven't signed a contract yet. You want to swap in for Kyle Dawkins?" And then Kyle Dawkins is just like in the replies, just being like, "What the hell?"
He sent a reply to Spinning Backfist and with the Alex Jones meme.
The Alex Jones, I saw that.
Like, I think he was like coward or scared man.
I forget which Dawkins brother it was, but one of the Dawkins brothers is not a fan of me. And I remember that, and I think I rooted against him.
Wait, no,
it was Chris,
it's
right?
It's his brother.
Chris is the heavyweight.
I think it was Chris that wasn't a fan of me, but I got to be honest, this Kyle Dawkins guy's fucking funny. It's hard not to like him.
His brother, Chris Dawkins, had one of the most like weird UFC careers of all time, where he just was like in the heavyweight division. He was just like a bowling ball with razor blades, and then he immediately just became the nail and just was the nail out. He just knockout, and then just got knocked out.
Yeah.
I mean, Eb's so right. He won his first 4 UFC fights by knockout in the first round or in second round, and then he just won Derek Lewis, Curtis Blades, Rosenstrike, Khalil Roundtree. I mean, these are tough fighters.
Those are tough opponents. That's a tough lineup. Yeah,
he just reached like a wall of like, and we say that I think heavyweights is the one like you talk about. Oh, like Derek Lewis, there's like a certain level of guy that can beat him, and then like if you're not there, you'll get like viciously knocked out. And Dawkins just ran through like all the heavyweights that he just. I mean, I guess heavyweights is kind of how it is. Like you either got it or you don't in that matchup, and he just had it till he didn't. Until he met guys that he just didn't, and then he would just get knocked out badly. Like Curtis Blades knocked him out with like a jab. I remember.
I kind of remember that. Yeah.
Chris
Lewis knocked him out bad.
Yep.
Roundtree knocked him out pretty bad. I remember.
Chris has not fought since 2024, where he fought an ex-UFC fighter in CFFC, Tefan Nchekwi, who...
Oh, I remember him. Did he win or lose?
He lost, but...
I remember him, too.
He lost to Nchekwi?
What?
He lost to Nchekwi?
Yes, that's his last fight in Nchekwi in the history of like his MMA career. I don't know if he's officially retired. People forget. there wasn't like Ntrugui was very close to beating
Azamat. Yeah.
Murzakanov, who's now undefeated in the UFC, and like low key, if he beats Costa, he's really not that far away from like a potential title shot. And now Tafan's not in the UFC anymore, unfortunately.
I think Azamat, I think if he wins, I think he probably a good fight for him after that. I mean, he could just on the same card or I'm sorry, not on the same card, on the newer card. He could just get the winner of Blachowicz and Guskov.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, he slept Rakic in the first round. Like, he weirdly has not been on such a good run to think he's still like a few away. Like, he really should be like right there.
He's a little bit older though, so he needs to go. He probably wants 2 or 3 fights this year.
Real quick, let me do another ad. Shout out to our friends at DraftKings. Obviously, March Madness is coming up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 sportsbook for live betting, is built for March. Tournaments unexpected, rewards are guaranteed. DraftKings Sportsbook is delivering the most generous rewards in the market, no matter what happens on the court, because this isn't a tournament you bet and forget. It's one you react to. With DraftKings, they've got the live betting options. You're betting what might happen, what might not happen. It's very, very fun. Possession by possession, play by play, live lines, props, next play outcomes. As the chaos unfolds, the bracket will break. So don't just watch the unexpected, bet it. I love March Madness as a non-college basketball guy. I don't watch a lot of college basketball, but it's just fun. You got everyone watching the games mid-afternoon at the office. You got to get in on some of the action on DraftKings Sportsbook. If you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BACKFIST, that's code BACKFIST, you can turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets instantly if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Shout out DraftKings, shout out March Madness, shout out Hofstra.
Yes, Friday, 3:00.
Gotta love it. Do you want to get into the card? Is there anything else we want to touch on before we get into UFC London?
No, not off the top of my head.
I'm excited for the UFC London crowd, even just like having a live crowd going nuts. I saw already the fighters are at the Canary Wharf, that hotel that they're always at. Some people were posting there was some like maxed man that broke in and stole a bunch of camera equipment. Did you guys see that?
Oh, wow.
No.
To like the fighter hotel. Yeah, he stole like thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment. And I think he was wearing one of those like kind of like a human mask. Like it's just like a bald guy mask. So it was like super creepy security footage.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Real weird. I saw a post about that being like, if you're staying in this hotel, please watch your bags. We've got a bandit on the loose. All right. First fight on the card. It'll be 1:15 p.m. East Coast time for the London card. Luana Carolina versus Melissa Mullins. Luana minus 130, Melissa Mullins plus 110. Historically hasn't been the best building for Luana Carolina.
It is not. This is.
I didn't even think about that. No, it has.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do with this fight.
I'm not even thinking about betting this.
I think there's an aspect of this fight where if Luana keeps it on the feet, like she could win this. Melissa's going to try to get takedowns. It's a weird one. I think it's a coin flip. Melissa Mullins she's a tank, but Luana's going to be much taller than her, much bigger.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic like coin flip, low-level women's fight. I mean, she's been knocked out. Mullins has been knocked out a couple times. Like, it's pretty. It's binary in a way. If she can avoid takedowns, Carolina will win. If Mullins gets takedown, I could see her mauling her on the ground. Maybe fight doesn't go, but that's a big number.
Yeah. Shanelle Dyer versus Ravena Oliveira. In the next fight, 145. Shanelle Dyer minus 485. She was in the PFL for a little bit and then lost her Contender Series fight.
Yeah, this
is British, so get her on.
Really good fight. It was a good fight. It was close.
And Shanelle, there was a lot of hype for her coming into that into that Contender Series fight. And she's British. and she Ravena's not very good. I think she has her covered here, but I don't know. She dropped the bag or the ball. She was only minus 200 or so against Carol Foro.
4-0, I think, is pretty
was-
good.
Yeah, who is pretty good. You're right. So I think she'll get the win here. I mean, that's not saying a lot. She's the big favorite.
There's another way. Yeah, the first fight unders 2.5 plus 220. This one's under 2.5 plus 200. I don't hate that, because if she's gonna cover almost minus 500, she's that good of a striker. She could land something. Also, I don't know if that's gonna come into play in this fight at all, because I agree Oliveira's not that good. She had a crazy chin in that Contender Series fight, if that means anything to anyone.
Yeah,
I don't remember the fight at all. I know people talked about it like it was a good fight.
She got hit clean a bunch.
Next fight on the card, Shamrock versus Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady. Shamrock plus 105, Selwady minus 125. Was Shamrock one of Cody's guys or no?
No, but he's in that fact. He's Patty's guy.
Yeah. I didn't know. Did Cody take Luke Riley or something? We have a coworker, Cody, who is building a little faction of favorite fighters. That's what we're referencing here.
Yeah, Luke Riley, he's a big fan of, and he's also a big fan of Loner. But
yeah, he likes his British guys, yeah, and Irish guys.
Yeah, he does. I kind of like Shamrock here. I don't think Selwady's the guy to knock out Shamrock, and Shamrock's the guy that like his chin is not the greatest in the world. But Selwady's chin kind of stinks too. I think Shamrock's going to get him down. And I think he can hold him down, and I think he can get a finish here. I like him plus 105, and I think this fight's going to happen on the mat a lot, and I think he's the guy to really take advantage of this. And his first fight was against a really tough opponent, and I think this is one where he's going to get in there. He's in England, and he gets a win here, and yeah, so I like Shamrock plus 105.
Yeah, I think it's a decent matchup for him. I do have a little worry because Al-Selwady hasn't fought in a while, and I remember that Loic fight. He was fighting really well. Like I think he was winning, and then just kind of got knocked out like early in the round, in the third round. So I do have concerns. I agree that you got like is he the guy to go knock him out? Probably not. But Shamrock is to me is a very like grappler bust. And Aliyev, I think, was like, I'm not gonna say a good matchup. He lost, but it was a guy that like Shamrock can hold his own on the ground. Obviously, he's a good grappler. So with another grappler, he's able to like you said, just hang in there. But I guess I do kind of agree with you because I think this is like could be like a back take away from the fight just being over. I don't know. I don't love the fight, but I don't hate the Shamrock angle.
And if
maybe my sub.
I'm pulling it up now, but yeah, I mean, Shamrock's significantly bigger than him. He's 5'11 versus 5'8, 73-inch reach versus 69-inch reach. They say he's going to be the bigger guy in there, and I think he'll be able to take maybe be able to take it back, maybe able to find a ground and pound. I don't mind Tamir, but yeah, you are like Selwady did look good in that fight, but this is his first fight since then. It's almost been 2 years. I don't really know why they booked him. Yeah,
I don't mind it's not out yet. The under 2.5 plus 130. I can see like a Shamrock by sub, whatever that. I'm curious what that number will be, or if fight doesn't go, it's around like even money. I don't hate that at all.
Great nickname matchup up next. Louis Sutherland versus Brando Perisic. It's the Balkan Bear, I believe, versus the Vanilla Gorilla, which he stole from Chase Sherman. Show some respect to the legend Chase Sherman. But the Bear versus the Gorilla. Louis Sutherland plus 210, Brando minus 258. That line just changed actually slightly. I don't know in what direction, but it moved. I have no thoughts about this.
So like Perisic, did we say his name? Like he's had one UFC fight. The guy he fought was respectfully just like a complete bum. I don't know if it told you much. Sutherland's just like he's just big guy, like kind of stiff a little bit. I don't know. I think Perisic probably should win, but it's like I think he's a little more fluid, like might even hit a little harder. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want some action, I have like a parlay piece, but again, it's another one like I don't think Perich is like I don't see him having this like crazy bright future. Maybe I'm wrong. He hasn't had a ton of fights yet, but I think he gets it done. But I'm not like, and he probably knocks him out, but I'm not like running to bet him like minus 260.
Yeah.
I actually like Sutherland here. He's the local fighter.
Yeah.
I am not a big fan of Perich. I think his competition's not been great on the regional scene. He also, I think, needs to get Sutherland out of here really quickly. If he doesn't, it's a fight that's going to be wide open. I think Sutherland could gas him out potentially. So I'm going to take a dog shot on Sutherland. I think this could be I think this should be more like minus 200, minus 180, and then so I'm gonna take Sutherland. He's a meatball, man. He's a British meatball.
It's one of the most British names of all time. Louis Sutherland is like I could hear his accent before I even have to, you know?
Yeah, no, yeah, Louis Sutherland for everything on Saturday afternoon.
Let's go.
Antonio Trócoli versus Mantas Kondratavičius. Kondratavičius is minus 800. Trócoli plus 550.
And Trócoli just gets trotted out to die.
He really does. It's a shame.
Yeah.
But like, when was the last time he was a favorite in a fight?
Definitely not in the UFC.
Never, right?
Never. I mean,
not in the UFC. Well, they just give him like, yeah, he gets like fucking why am I drawing a blank on his name? One eye.
Shara Magomedov, and then he got
Shara Bullet.
Abdul Malik. He had Trayshawn Gore, which I guess was a winnable fight from. This I would assume is his last fight on his contract. He's gonna get killed here. There's not a lot to say.
He more than three. It feels like he has more than three.
Well, he was late notice, isn't he? He's a pro poker player, right, or something?
Yeah,
like that?
He cares way more about poker.
Yeah, that's not a good thing for someone to say about you fighting this lineup of just absolute killers. Another Contender Series guy who like had a big like super fast knockout. Yeah, I mean he's gonna get smoked.
Up next, Mario Pinto versus Felipe Franco. Another one where not even close. Mario Pinto minus 900.
This shouldn't be sanctioned.
Yeah,
yeah.
This is like this, and I know Franco. I forget who Pinto was supposed to fight. Franco filled in as a replacement. If you guys remember, this is the guy that lost to Freddie Vidal. No disrespect to Freddie Vidal, but this is the man who lost to Freddie Vidal, who was coaching high school football like 2 days before, and is like a natural light heavyweight who fought at heavyweight and was able to beat Franco. If Pinto should essentially walk at him with like zero regard for like any.
Yeah,
I'm being very disrespectful right now, but it's just truly how I feel. I think like if Pinto doesn't finish him in the first like 2 to 3 minutes, I'll lose some respect for Mario Pinto.
Yeah, the under 1.5 is minus 166. I'm almost thinking like that may be a click. I feel like
I think so. Am I crazy, Jack?
No.
Am I disrespecting Franco? He was able to get a lot of takedowns on Vidal, but he did nothing. Like he was just kind of holding against the cage and like posing no real threat. Like Pinto's so much bigger than Vidal and like more athletic and so much more of a threat. Like I don't see how Pinto doesn't finish him in the first round.
What is he by first round knockout? Like odds wise?
It's not
probably minus 200. I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, I would think.
So. I would imagine something like that.
No,
right?
not minus 200. Probably like minus minus 120.
You think that low, Jack?
If it was minus 120, I think that like that's the bet.
You know what?
Well, if the under 1.5, if the under 1.5 is minus 166, it has to be
true.
You're right. Honestly, the under 1.5 being only minus 166 is actually like scaring me. I think it should be minus like 300.
I think you're right.
Yeah, Mario Pinto or Felipe Franco, the only time he's been out of the first round was against Freddie Vidal.
Like, yeah, he gassed crazy. That's how he lost.
And then,
maybe I'm
oh
giving
no, go ahead.
Pinto.
Sorry.
No, maybe I'm giving each side too much respect and too little respect. I feel like this should be an absolute murder scene. Like I've only granted I've watched Franco fight once, and all the guys he had fought before that are like, if you look at their records, just complete cans, like nobody's.
Yeah.
This is so bizarre. It opened under 1.5, -125, and now it's at some places -180. At TK, it's -166. Yeah, this feels. I know Mario Pinto sometimes takes his time. We saw that against the guy he's fighting later on this card, Austin Lane. But I don't know. Felipe Franco's the guy that kind of runs at you, and we saw it with Mario Pinto. He has good wrestling too. Like we saw that he was a bunch of takedowns in his last fight. I think we could see. Like I think he'd be ready if there was a grappling attack on him.
Then the fight you mentioned before, Nathaniel Wood versus Losene Keita. Is that his name? He's making his UFC debut on this card. I don't know if it's Keita or Keita. He's -238 against Nathaniel Wood, +195, which I don't know much about Keita. I've seen, hype for him on MMA Twitter, people excited for him to come to the UFC. -238 against Nathaniel Wood in the debut? Is that crazy?
I think there's some serious concern on Wood's chin here. I think Keita's win equity here is a KO for sure. I mean, Keita's has been fighting at a very high level, so it's not like he hasn't fought UFC level fighters. But the thing is, I mean, he was supposed to fight. I think it was Pitbull, and then he didn't make weight. So this is a big thing here: is will he make weight tomorrow or on Friday morning? I think he's going to KO him. I'm looking at like a round 2, round 3.
Okay.
I think it may take only one punch. Like this may be a nasty KO. Nasty. But there's also a chance Nathaniel Wood kind of just styles on him.
I think I'm willing to take a shot at Wood.
That's what I'm thinking. Knowing nothing about Keita is like, if you're giving me Wood at that price for a guy against, who's debuting, first time fighting in a big arena like this.
I remember I watched I went back before the Pitbull fight and watched I'm pretty sure it was on the Miami card last year. Am I off on that?
Long ago?
Maybe
Makes
it wasn't.
sense. Pitbull was supposed to debut around that time, or he did debut at that card.
I just remember it was a big card that they were supposed to be on, and there was the viral clip of him going up to Pitbull and basically like begging him to fight him.
Right.
And Pitbull basically being like, "Fuck you," like
be professional. Yeah,
that's your problem, kind of thing. The Jack might be totally right, because the one thing about him, like he's violent, like he truly is violent. He's a marauder, as like a Joe Rogan would say. He comes forward, he's super aggressive, he throws bombs. But I think if Wood can just like hang in there, like I think he's the better like technical striker. And you've seen like he just beat Delgado. Like he's got some good wins recently. I think Wood, especially if this gets above like 200, I think I have to at least give him a shot.
Yeah, I think the thing with Wood is like he's so quick and so fast, and that's how he wins. But Keita's going to be faster than him. Like he's just so much more gifted than him. So I think he may beat him on his own game. But this is a good fight. This is I thought this should be the main, our co-main, the co-main.
I mean, it is crazy that it's all the way on the prelims. Like this, not even being a main card is kind of crazy to me.
I think they're mad at
this card is so good.
I'm confused that they really don't like Nathaniel Wood. I don't know why.
I mean, he's loved over there. Like every time I've ever seen.
Oh shit! What happened,
Bob? But I know I definitely I agree with what you're saying. Like Keita. This is a bit moment where, like, if Keita does go out there and just runs through him, I mean, they obviously were trying to give him like a big fight with Pitbull for his debut, regardless, and him even to be this big of a favorite over Wood, like in his debut, clearly Robbie DeCin's computer was started, so he'll be back in a minute, I'm sure. But clearly, just in general, like odds makers and all that, they clearly respect him a lot. And what you said is like he's a specimen, like he fits like the specimen tagline, like he's a freak. He hits hard. He's a truck.
Before we continue, let's just do a quick Shady Rays. We talked about them a few episodes ago. Shout out Shady Rays. Quick question. How are my Shady Rays basically the same quality as the $200 sunglasses I used to buy? And I'm not exaggerating. They feel every bit as premium as the expensive brands I've owned. Meanwhile, I'm wearing Shady Rays to the lake, on the boat, at the game, on the job site, because if I drop them in the ocean, they replace them. Knock them off the deck, they replace them. Sit on them day one, they replace them. And here's the crazy part. They are actually premium. Polarized lenses that cut glare hard. That's huge in the summer. Super clear optics, durable frames with solid hinges, clean classic styles that look sharp without trying too hard. If you are outside on the water in the sun or driving every day, you need shades that actually perform. Go to shadyrays.com, grab a pair, and get sunglasses with lost and broken protection. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to Shady Rays and use code BACKFIST for 40% off 2 or more polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Shout out Shady Rays. Robbie is back.
I'm back. Sorry.
No, you're good. We did it. We're just talking Shady Rays. We love Shady Rays.
Love Shady Rays.
Shout out Shady Rays. And yeah, so we ended with a Keita Wood.
Yeah, sorry. There's something on my computer that's saying Self-Service Plus wants to use your confidential information in your keychain. I don't know what any of that means. I've never seen that before. I have to get this off my screen. All right. You didn't talk about any fights other than that, right?
No, we just went straight into Shady Rays. And
Mason Jones and Axel Sola is up next. Should be another good fight, I think. Mason Jones minus 122, Axel Sola plus 102. I'd probably take a shot on Axel Sola here. I think it's such a close fight that it's almost just, if it's a coin flip, I'm taking the dog.
Yeah, no.
I think the thing that concerns me with Jones a little bit is just that, even the Stevens fight, when it was on the feet, Stevens was landing on him, and I think Jones is very hittable. I think that's definitely the concern. I kind of like Sola, but if Jones is really good. If he can wrestle like he did against Stevens, he definitely has to have.
Yeah, no, I like Sola here. I'm not the biggest. Sorry, I was getting a phone call. I look at Mason Jones as a guy he's a good fighter. He's a good UFC fighter. We've seen him a lot, and he's shown a lot of great promise, but kind of has a ceiling. I think when you go up against a guy kind of like him who will pressure you like Jeremy Stevens did, and can strike with you and have similar cardio, he's not going to look amazing. There are guys that he will break, but I think Axel Sola is not one of them. And I think he'll be ready. And I like him as an underdog price here. And also his striking's a tad better too. And I think his grappling's good enough too to offset anything that Mason Jones wants to do. So yeah, I like Axel here. And he's one of the better French prospects we've seen.
Yeah. Then the main card, Curtis Campbell versus Danny Silva, kicks it off. Curtis Campbell minus 230, Danny Silva plus 190. You don't see a lot of Curtises spell their name with a K. I'll say that.
You do not.
I've never seen that before. This Curtis, I don't think I've ever seen Curtis with a K.
Okay. There's definitely an athlete or somebody with a Curtis with a K, I'm pretty sure.
Got it, big. Curtis Rourke. You guys know that guy?
Quarterback.
Indiana?
Yeah, quarterback. He's in
All
Ohio.
right. He spells it with a K. There we go.
I knew there was somebody.
I really like Curtis Campbell. I think he's a guy who's really, really good. He looks funny, but I think he's really, really good. He doesn't look like he can beat you up, but I think he's going to beat up his opponent here. And I think Danny Silva, and I think he's going to submit him. I like him by submission. I think
he looks like a guy that'd work at Best Buy or something.
Yeah,
you go up to
exactly.
him for tech questions. Yeah,
he is.
Yeah,
but
he's plus 650 by sub.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin what I'm going to pick for our DK segment later, but I think that's going to be my But I really like him. I think he's damn good, man. I was impressed with him. He's strong. Like he just looks like he's just strong. And I think Danny Silva is actually a pretty good striker, so he'll match him there. But I think Campbell's going to get him to the mat and submit him.
I mean, maybe this is. I have no issues with Jack putting in the parlay. I kind of want to take a shot at Silva. Campbell, even this Contender Series fight, like I thought it was kind of an early stoppage. It was kind of like a weird little sequence. I think he's like pretty good, but Silva's. I mean, he went 3 good rounds at Vallejos, was competitive. He beat Josh Calavo. He beat somebody else too in the UFC. I don't know. He's a good striker. He's tough. He's never been submitted before. Maybe he just hasn't fought a grappler of this caliber. That's very much possible. But I kind of like taking a shot at Silva. Like Campbell to me against somebody like this who's proven at least he's respectable in the UFC and very possibly could be the better striker. That he's plus 190. I don't know. Curtis is a lot of hype. Maybe I'm just not seeing what everyone else is seeing. I don't know. I just haven't. I don't know. He hasn't done anything that's completely wowed me yet. But maybe this will be it. But I kind of like Silva as a dog.
Then we've got Roman Dolidze versus Christian Leroy Duncan. Roman Dolidze plus 340. Christian Leroy Duncan minus 440. Obviously, Christian Leroy Duncan is I think the smart pick, but is the line wide to you at all? Dolidze plus 340.
I don't blame anyone taking a shot, but I think Christian Leroy's just gonna style on him. I like him round 2, round 3. I think he's gonna knock him out. I think he's going to find a way to knock him out. And yeah, round 2, Christian Leroy plus 450, round 3 plus 650 on DK. I think Dolidze, this is not a guy that Dolidze is going to beat. I think he's gonna get finished.
Yeah, I like CLD. I think CLD's kind of found something. I think he's been fighting more aggressive. Like it's basically to me, it's just do you think Dolidze can do what like RoboCop did to him? And I don't really think so. I don't think he can. I don't think he can just like completely dominate him with takedowns and just like hold him down and continuously take him down like RoboCop did. Yeah, I tend to agree with Jack. I think like Dolidze, like he beat Vettori, but we've seen like Vettori's like he's old and like he got outstruck on the feet for 3 rounds by Bruno Ferreira, which no disrespect to Bruno. I think Bruno's been better than probably people gave him credit for. But he's not like a guy that you should be just getting like style like beat up like that for 3 rounds. And it was a close fight, I get it, and I'm doing some MMA math there, but I think you got a guy in CLD's in his prime momentum. Yeah. I think you see a guy in Dolidze who's on the tail end, you're seeing more of the decline. I think CLD is going to get it done.
Decline, but still not horrible. Like
no, definitely not. We're still respectable for sure.
Yeah,
a good test, but I think
True.
This is where like if he styles on him and like knocks him out, he should get a big fight.
Yeah. This is CLD's 7 years younger than him, and I think he's like, and I think Dolidze's 30. He's an old 37, if you know what I mean. Like he's just
he's fight old,
and I think CLD, this is a great test for him. Like how far, because his last one was really, really impressive. And
Tulio, right?
Yeah, and the way that
Anders before that, 2 really nice knockouts in a row.
And I think he's gonna find another knockout here. He hits hard. He's a lot to deal with, and I think he's gonna be too much for Dolidze.
And Baranowski versus Austin Lane. Baranowski minus 575, Austin Lane plus 425. This has first round knockout written all over it.
I don't know how Austin Lane's going to make 205 here. Is that possible?
He's like 6'6".
I know.
Bro, he's going to have to cut off all his dreads and like a leg.
Couple toes, and couple fingers.
You want to talk about like mythical fighters? Iwo really might be the one. This is the fight where like if he does the thing, like Iwo might be the one. He might be someone special. Like he might be that guy that like is just in the UFC forever, just every fight he's in just like a brawl. Kill or be killed first round. I think he's gonna knock out Lane badly. But it's gonna be fun while it lasts. And he'll probably put himself in danger at some point. in this fight.
Yeah.
There's a clip going around MMA Twitter right now that's just like Austin Lane finds ways to get knocked out. Like he doesn't just get knocked out, he gets turned off.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
he
Oh.
now
It's tough.
do you think he can survive to round 2 here? Because I mean, like against Mario Pinto, I think it was I think he won the first
did.
round if I recall
But
correctly.
he beat Despania. But
Yes.
pure takedowns though. Like no striking. Just took down a guy with no takedown defense and held him down for 3 rounds. That's how he won. He got him cut from the UFC. But to me also again, like Jack, you just meant like the way he gets flatlined, like now he's cutting all this weight.
Yeah.
Against like a power puncher, like I just don't think that's a good idea. Like we've seen a lot of guys try to make, like even like Dawkins was a guy that like just he got knocked out a few times, tried to make the move down to 205, got knocked out again. Like you've seen it happen a lot. Like guys, when you try to cut, I'm not even saying like cutting corners, but you try to like, oh, I'm gonna lose weight and like the guys won't hit as hard, but yeah, like your chin won't be as good, and they still hit really hard. I don't know. I think Evo is gonna just knock him out. That's obviously not a hot take by any means. The under 1.5 minus like 3. What is it? Yeah, under 1.5 minus 345.
Yeah. Jesus.
But that's also part of Evo. Like Evo fights like that. He was in the Contender Series. The guy he fought in Contender Series, they were saying was like the second coming of Jesus Christ, and then he just knocked him out in like 15 seconds.
Yeah. The next fight is Michael Venom Page against Sam Patterson. Michael Venom Page minus 180, Sam Patterson plus 150. This is the fight where maybe I'm crazy. Personally, I feel like the line is not wide enough. I think Michael Venom Page is going to kill him. I think
it's come down too.
The level of competition is so different from these two. Like Sam Patterson, I remember he beat like Kiefer Crosby, and like he's got like a couple.
I bet Sam Patterson. I think he's my favorite bet of the card. I think he's gonna knock him out. I think he's gonna knock him out. I don't think MVP cares anymore. I think I think the UFC knows what they're doing here.
Because he spoke up about the Conor Ben thing.
No, just like I think he's just been a lot to deal with even before all this. And they like remember he got booked against Sam Patterson and immediately started complaining about it. But I think this is a big spot for Sam Patterson. He's English, just like MVP. I think he's damn good. And I think he could even take him down like Ian Gary did if he wanted to.
I think Sam Patterson's really good. It always worries me with MVP because he can just like have that ability where you see it right away. He's just too fast, and just those darting jabs, and like you're like, oh god, like we're in trouble. Yeah. I remember betting Holland against him and immediately was like, oh fuck.
Oh yeah, I did the same thing. Yeah,
like this is bad. That was a bad idea. But the thing with Sam Patterson is he was like he got knocked out his first fight in the UFC, and everyone kind of feel like not quit on him, but just like, oh, this guy, he got knocked out by Ashmus, who's not even that good.
Right.
And everyone's like, oh, this guy's a bum. And all he's done is just rip through. I mean, his last 2 fights were against Danny Barlow and Trey Waters, who were like these incredible strikers. I was a massive I was a Danny Barlow guy. I still respect. That was a tough L we took there. Still love you, Danny. Left-handed God. But I just like 2 guys that were supposed to be better strikers, like big time strikers, tall, long, and Patterson's too. He's a tall, long guy, and he knocked them both out in the feet in the first round. He might be really good, and I think this is the test to be like if he finishes MVP, I'm going to be like, holy shit, this guy's really.
I would be so shocked. I really would be shocked if he finished MVP.
This line, like he was plus 180, or like in the last like 2 weeks. Now he's plus 150. I know people like respectable people, Jack being one of them, like that. I'm sure have bet Patterson, and I get it. Like he's been on an insane tear, and I do agree. Like where I think MVP was complaining so much about getting the fight, and I get it in terms of like name value with the guy fighting guys like Holland and Cannonier,
and it was like his teammate like too, kind of.
But Patterson's been like Gary. Like Patterson's been on a pretty crazy run, and this is the spot. Like if he does the thing, then he's going to get a top 15, and he's going to be on the like five finish streak in a row. Yeah, I think Patterson's really good. I think this is like it's a tough puzzle. It's because he's still like he's not the striker MVP is, but I wouldn't be shocked if he was able to take him down and choke him out. Gary was close. I think he's more well-rounded than MVP.
He might be. I would be so shocked if he finished MVP. Maybe it's just my MVP brain, because I tried to recalculate and recalibrate when he came to the UFC. Like, all right, I gotta re-put where he is, and then he was like pretty fucking good in the UFC. Now again, I'm kind of like recalibrate where MVP is on the skill level in that division.
Because the only thing that scares me, even think back to like, because when I think of Cannonier, like Cannonier he's old, like he's like 40, so like, yeah, he's gonna be faster than him. But Ian Gary did not want to strike with him, and that's the thing that's what concerns me for Sam Patterson, because maybe it plays out like that, like I said with Holland, where you just realize right away, holy shit!
Shout out this guy in Serbia.
Shout out
Serbia. Shout out Serbia.
Love that. Worldwide. Spinning back fist worldwide.
Serbia, you got the best basketball player on the planet. It's from Serbia.
Jokic?
Yes, sir. Serbian.
Huh. Didn't know that. Learn something new every day. Every day is a school day. Luke Riley versus Michael Aswell, co-main event. Good fight. Luke Riley minus 258. Michael Aswell plus 210. I like Luke Riley in the fight. I just like Luke Riley in general. I think he's a good prospect for the UFC right now.
Yeah, there's been some love for Michael Aswell. I don't know if I get it.
You like him, Av?
Yeah, I'll explain my side, I guess, if you want
the
Aswell like angle. I think Riley's talented. This is not like a crazy shade on Riley. Aswell, I think, is really underrated. Like, I think he's been in some really. I guess the one thing that the MMA math that you would point to is that he lost to Brogdon, or he lost to Bogdangrad, and then Riley knocked him out. So if you want to do that math, then sure. But the Contender Series, it was a super close fight. It was just like a war coin flip that could have went either way. They end up like Grad was winning the fight until he wasn't. So you can say whatever about that. I think he's much more durable than Grad is. And I think he's gonna make this a fight in the feet. Like to me, Riley could easily win. I think it's going, unless he just like sparks Aswell, I think it's going to be a close fight. And I think you're getting plus 210 on a fight that, in my opinion, is going to be like a 3-round war. That's what I think it's going to play out to be.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is just, I think Grad is a much tougher matchup for Luke. And I think he handled it decently well. Obviously, he got the second round KO. The first round he lost, but I think just Luke's just gonna hit harder than him. He's gonna be faster than him. I think he has the speed, the athleticism advantage, and I think it's just gonna be too much for Aswell. I'm not gonna bet it, so I can't be that. I can't say I'm that confident in it.
And then main event: Movsar Evloev versus Lerone Murphy. Another like good fight. It's going to be a tough one for Lerone Murphy. Obviously, he's plus 205 in this. I don't think I'll be betting Lerone Murphy in this fight. I think it's probably Movsar's fight to win, or his fight to lose rather. But I don't know. Like, I want to believe that it'll be a close fight. I just don't know if it will be. I think it has the potential to be, a Movsar fight.
Yeah, I want to get to Lerone Murphy, but I can't. I
kind of feel the same way.
I feel like this is a fight that maybe a good entry on Lerone, maybe in round 3. I think there's a shot that Evloev really looks good early, but Lerone's a tough guy, and there's a chance that Lerone like really pushes on Evloev's cardio. I can't get to Murphy for some reason. I don't know why.
Do you feel like if you're going to bet Evloev, you just have to do it by decision?
No, I think there's a chance
not?
that he finds a finish because he'll be in some very advantageous positions.
True.
Lerone Murphy's very tough. But also we've seen Evloev really hurt Arnold Allen. I think that even though it was on kind of like a weird position where Allen was going down and then on the up, the knee on the up. But I think Evloev has the ability to finish him. I also think it's not great that Evloev just got to London, I think yesterday. Now, I think he trains in Dubai or Russia, So it's not that far of a trip, but it's significant. Like if someone's fighting in LA and they're just like, oh, he just got to LA on Tuesday for a fight and he trains in New York, you'd be like, yeah, I mean, that's not the greatest thing in the world. It's not the worst. I don't know why I can't get to Lerone, but I think he's the play here.
I think the fact that this fight's in everything that's like just real shit in terms of like their fighting styles, all that, him being a 2-1 underdog or better, might even get better, and the fact that the fight is in London is enough to get me there. I think I'll take the shot at Murphy.
And
because the cards, like I think it's going to be a close fight. Like Evloev's never finished a fight in the UFC. I think like Evloev, I actually think is better on the feet than he gets credit for. Like I actually think it's funny. Like the toughest matchup he's probably had in the UFC for him. Well, I guess the two. I mean, I guess you could say Lopez obviously gave him some like a little bit of trouble off the couch. But really, Aljamain had a great fight with him. I don't even think Aljamain getting the decision there would have been crazy at all. I actually kind of thought he won. But it was close. I had no issues with Evloev winning. I thought it was truly a coin flip fight. But I just wonder, like, I feel like we haven't seen in a while Murphy's takedown defense get tested like this, like it's going to. And maybe there's really no one that can at 145. That's probably fair to say. Evloev's that good. But I don't know. I just feel like if it's I just feel like it can be a really close decision. If you have a few rounds that play out on the feet, I think Murphy's definitely capable of winning it. And yeah, like give me those UFC London scorecards in a close fight in the main event. And a guy who the UFC, not that I think this really plays into it like at all, but just for a narrative and story perspective, like I think UFC would rather Lerone Murphy.
Of course. 100% they would rather that.
Battle between Volk and Murphy for the belt. They don't want
just the fact that it's in London and the whole like everything about it, they want Murphy to win this fight. Yeah.
They don't want Movsar no finishes Evloev fighting for a belt.
No. They
don't want that.
What are the
but he might earn it. He might earn it.
I would say the one thing we did see, like Pico got a bunch of takedowns on Murphy before, but Murphy kept getting up. I think Evloev's top game is a little bit better. His control. This is going to be a damage versus control fight. Can Lerone get the damage before he gets taken down in a round or two, or find a way to get up and find it? Like, let's say I feel like there's going to be some close rounds here where it's Evloev controls for 3 minutes. Murphy gets up, maybe lands a really good shot, and it not hurts him, but it's a good shot. How do they judge it? And so this is the ultimate like control versus damage fight. And yeah, I mean, I was so high on Pico going up against Murphy, and seeing what he did was so amazing. And it wasn't really a fluke. I mean, I thought Pico was looking okay, but nothing like unbelievable. And obviously, I mean, that spinning elbow was unbelievable. And we're about to show the interview. I asked him about it, and he said, he said he knew right away when it landed. He was like, "There's just no way that he's still alive." And then
a human survived that.
At him. Yeah. And he said after he didn't really realize until after when he saw the clip, he's like, "I understand how he didn't know he folded like that, where he thought it was more of a like, oh, he kind of just fell down." Instead of kind of like the falling down that happened to Pico. But I mean, I don't blame anybody backing Murphy. Evloev's, when you bet that big of a favorite, you want some finishing ability. I don't know if he has it. And that goes to your point, Robbie.
Yeah. What do we like for props on this card? For the three of us, we're going to go on DraftKings and each pick a prop that we like on this card. Mine isn't like the one I was looking at is not the biggest. It's honestly, it's minus 135, so it's not great.
Hey, you can do what you. This is
go ahead.
This is our segment, Bob. You're a part of the segment. You can do whatever the hell.
Listen, I want to win, all right, and I haven't gotten a lot of wins on props lately, so I'm going Ewo round one knockout plus or minus 135.
All right, that's our first one. Ev, are you on the DK app?
Yeah.
Okay, actually, I can do it too on my computer. Last one we were like 45-1. It did not hit, but this one, this is going to be the one. This is our second time doing this with DraftKings, DK, kind of like the spinning. Oh no, it's the red panty parlay, right? That's what
red
we're
panty
calling it?
parlay.
Yeah, the red panty
Yep.
parlay.
And first fight of the night on the main card, I like Curtis Campbell by submission, plus 650. We were up to plus 1205. And Ev, the floor is yours to end the red panty parlay for the spinning back fist crew. Second one of all time. All we need is one, baby.
Yeah.
I'm between two, but I don't know if I want to get should I get nuts?
Get nuts, because I didn't get nuts.
Do it, Ev. It's the red panty parlay.
Yeah,
Alright,
you
you
got to
know
get
what?
nuts. Make up for me
You
not
know
going
what?
nuts.
He's had 2 in a row over strikers. Maybe it's even a ground. Stan Patterson by, you know what?
Do it.
I'll go Stan. Can I do finish, or does it have to be like a specific?
Yeah, you can do finish.
No, whatever you want.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll do Stan Patterson by finish plus 250.
Wow.
That's going to push us to plus 4,400 again. So we're in the same range.
Boom. There we go.
Hey, and it's plus 4469, so 44 to 1 around right below 45 to 1. Make sure you get all those plays in on GK. It's the red panty parlay. If it hits, you will be hearing from us. Like you will.
You will.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
It's that Tyler the Creator tweet. Like it's going to be the only thing I talk about.
Oh, if we hit a red panty parlay, if we hit 2 red panty parlays, we may retire.
Yeah.
Responsible.
Rename it.
All right. Should we throw to the Lerone Murphy interview you did now, Jack? You want to cue that up for the people?
Yes, let's put that on. And it's about 10 minutes, and then we'll see you guys next week.
Hell yeah.
UFC Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, this card, I know when it came out, people weren't like they didn't love like Luke Riley's the co-main, and they didn't love the MVP matchup. I'm calling my shot. I think this is going to be a sick card. Like fights wise. The fights themselves, I think, are going to be sick.
This is when it goes to like, it's just everyone yearns for the past. I was seeing people like comparing this card to like 2022 London, 2023 London, and there were some big names. I mean, Ilya fought on one of them. But
yeah.
I guarantee you, if we could go back to our timelines then people would have been complaining about that then. It's just like it's just all shifts. Like you look back. So, but yeah, this is let's send it to Lerone Murphy. I have to restart it. It looks a little funny right now, but I'm gonna remove you guys. See ya. Okay, I got it started from the beginning. There we go. All right, we're gonna go now.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back to the Spinning Backfish Show. It is just me today, Jack Mack, but I am here with Lerone Murphy ahead of his huge fight this weekend at the O2 Arena. Obviously, fighting in front of your home crowd, headlining. How does it feel to know that when you walk out to the ring, to the octagon on Saturday night, that the entire crowd is going to be chanting your name and behind you in this probably biggest fight of your career?
Yeah, for sure. It's the biggest fight of my career, and it's a new thing to tick off my career list. Walking out, main event in London. I can't wait for it. It's going to be electric.
Yes, it's going to be electric. I'm in New York. The New York fans are good, but whenever we see the London fans, the English fans going crazy. I know you're from Manchester, correct?
Yeah, I'm from Manchester.
So is there a little bit of a kind of a rivalry between Manchester and London?
No. There's not,
No.
actually,
Okay,
no.
that's overblown. That's my silly Yankee brain. I should know better than that. Obviously, this is a matchup of striking against grappling, and you just had a fight just like that. Obviously, we saw you against Aaron Pico. Do you feel as if, and obviously, there was some grappling in that fight. Every time you got taken down, you got right back up and obviously had potentially knockout of the year, one of the best knockouts we've ever seen in the UFC. Do you think the training camp for Aaron Pico, although you got that fight a little bit later, has helped with this matchup a little bit, or no?
I think no, because it was only a 3-week camp. But I feel like I've been fighting guys that can wrestle for a while. So I'm always been trying to improve in that aspect. So um, we all know striker versus wrestler. It's a tough matchup, a very tough matchup. He's undefeated. He's beat the best of the best. He's got very high level wrestling, but I believe in myself always. I believe in my ability, and I believe I can make him pay for any mistakes.
Yeah, obviously we saw that knockout against Aaron Pico. At what point, when it landed, did you know right away that was probably it, or did you not? Because I mean, did you even see it? I know you were kind of like this, but when that landed, that spinning attack, it was just. I was in the arena. I was actually. It was right on. I was on the side of the octagon when it happened. It's still one of my favorite moments ever live. I've never seen somebody fold like that.
Well, I'm glad I was able to do that for you. It was a crazy knockout. It was a crazy knockout, and when it hit, I knew the way it fell, it was done. But until like I watched it back, I didn't see like the velocity of that strike, and it was there. It was.
Yeah, what's that feeling like? When does it hit you? Oh my God, that was probably one of the best strikes of my career, and it's going to be a highlight that's associated with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it is, and only after it, when you come down, do you realize that was a highlight, one of the highlights of my career, and it was amazing. The crowd went bananas. I think that is definitely the best moment of my career so far, for sure.
Yeah, and in Chicago, I mean, it would be crazy if something like that happened this weekend. Did you like Chicago?
I love Chicago. I love Chicago. And it's somewhere where I probably wouldn't have flown if I wasn't fighting there. So I'm glad I got to see it. And I'm definitely gonna go back for sure. I loved it. I loved it out there.
Were you able to have any of the food out there after the fight, after the weight cut?
I got some pizza. I got some pizza
Okay.
from one of the places that are well known there. I forgot the name, but it was really good. Really good.
Was it deep dish? It was kind of
Yes,
like
yeah. It's Chicago pizza, yeah.
And you fought in New York, right? You fought at MSG.
No, I've never been to New York.
Oh, okay.
I've never been to New York. That's on the bucket list as well.
We got to get you there and then compare the
Yeah.
pizza. What do you think of the pizza out in
I
England?
prefer New York pizza. I prefer
All
New
right.
York pizza. I'm more of the thin base, good base. I prefer New York pizza by a mile.
Yeah, New York pizza. I'm biased, but I love New York pizza. You have mentioned. I was watching some of your interviews and just thinking back on some of the videos I've seen of you. You're a big cook, right? You like food. You're a foodie. I think you've described yourself as.
Yeah.
Have you ever made a pizza?
I haven't.
Okay.
That's something I haven't tried to make. No, I would like to though.
Yeah, no, there's some good little even there's pizza ovens you can even buy. What's your favorite food that you make or dish?
I'm Jamaican. My background's
Okay.
Jamaican, so I like Jamaican dishes. Really I like making like grilled seafood, mac and cheese, that kind of stuff. All the carbs, all the good carbs, spicy food. I love to mix up, and I can't wait to cook after this fight. Wow, feels like I've not cooked in a while.
Is it tough? Are you able to cook when you're cutting weight, or is it kind of like I don't want to get too involved because obviously maybe taste is not the number one thing on your mind in that moment.
It's not. And the food's like I pretty much just make food to eat, like bland. I don't put no love into it. It's just like, just let me just get this food down me, get what I need to get from the food, and that's it. But after the fight, when I'm out of camp, I put more love into it, and I do more like different recipes and whatnot.
And before every fight, you listen to Tupac, the same song. Were you always a big time Tupac fan, or is it just that song? It's ambitious as a writer, right?
Yeah, but I like to listen to all Tupac songs. I believe I can relate to him. A lot of his music I can relate to. He's got a lot of deep music as well, and I feel like I can connect. And I like music with meaning. I like music with meaning, so I like Tupac a lot.
What do you think of the trend of Scouser rap that's kind of become popular?
Scouser rap.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's all right. It's all right.
All
But
right.
I prefer the old school music.
All
man.
right.
I prefer the old school.
Yeah. A lot of these guys have been popping off It's funny. And then obviously Scousers have been very popular in terms of fighting, and Patty and a few others. There's a few on this card too.
Yeah.
And it's I think it's funny when most Americans don't know the term Scouser. I think Cody Garbrandt thought it was like a witch of sorts, like a magician.
Oh yeah, sorcerer. Yeah.
Sorcerer. Yeah, you call them a sorcerer.
Yeah.
Which is very funny. I have and no, the Scousers and the but Manchester and Liverpool have a little bit more beef, right?
Yes, because Manchester Liverpool is very close. It's like 30 minutes away. So it's very close. So we're similar people, but it's like I think Scousers are different than anyone in the UK. Like they're just their own type of people.
And obviously Manchester United, Liverpool. And speaking of rap, I know you've flirted with the idea of changing your nickname to the Iceman. I know Drake, I think, is coming out with an album called The Iceman. Has that popped into your mind? Maybe it's a good time to become the Iceman, or no?
Nah, do you know what? I got a lot of backlash for that. Not backlash, but a lot of people said you can't change your name. The miracle's got big meaning to it. You have to stick with that. And I get what they're saying, so we stuck with that one.
Yeah, the Miracle is such a great nickname for you, specifically considering your story. And it is a great nickname, just in general.
Yeah.
We're very excited. Oh, 2 last questions. If you could have one person in the world, dead or alive, come watch you fight on Saturday night, who would it be?
Muhammad Ali.
Okay. All right. Muhammad Ali. That would be that. Yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah.
And no, I think we'll end on that. Thank you, Lerone. I'm very excited to watch you on Saturday night. I think you're probably one of the most, in a weird way, underrated, undefeated fighters in the history of the sport. So we're very excited to watch you. And obviously the fans will be behind you out there. And best of skill. I'm sure you'll put on a show for us once again.
Thank you. Appreciate it, brother. Have a good day.
You too.